What's up, everybody? This is your boy Jay Infinity for Infinite Nights. Today, I will be reviewing the Marvels. I like to keep my reviews short and sweet, so I'm not going to hold you here with a bunch of filler. Basically, I'm going to rate the movie and then tell you what I liked and didn't like about it. Okay, so without further ado, let's go. So, the movie for me is an average movie. If I had to rate it out of 10, it falls somewhere between a 5 and a 6. Like, it's not a bad movie. However, it's not a great movie. What I liked about the movie, it had some great action sequences. The action sequences were pretty good. They were actually pretty good. Probably the highlights of the movie were the action scenes. So, and that's something that probably would have me watch the movie again, just to see those action scenes. The acting, however, was great. Everybody did a good job. I can't say anybody did a bad job. However, I still don't like the character Captain Marvel compared to how she is portrayed in the comic books. Is not how she is portrayed in the movies, and that's something that I've always had a gripe about since the first Captain Marvel movie. They only really did Captain Marvel justice in Endgame. That's probably the best version of the MCU Captain Marvel that I've seen. Everything else that she's been in between is subpar compared to her comic book portrayal. But can't get what we can't all get what we want, right? So, but again, the acting and the action sequences were great. What I did not like about the movie, there were quite a few cringe moments. There were some jokes that, although I felt that they were funny, like I laughed at them. Some of them did not fit the moment, and then some jokes seem forced. So, but there are quite a few cringe moments, but you probably still will laugh at them because they are legitimately funny. Still do not like Nick Fury's portrayal in any of these Captain Marvel movies. It's kind of like we get this soft Nick Fury as opposed to the hard, grizzled Nick Fury that we get in everything else MCU related. It kind of throws you off when you expect Nick Fury to act a certain way and he doesn't. That annoys me a lot. But I wish they would just pick a Nick Fury that they want in these movies instead of giving us two versions of the same character. I need them to be more consistent with that. Once again, we get a villain that gets completely wasted. The new villain in this movie, Dar-Ben, pretty much is treated like Ronan from Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a villain that could have been great, but they decided to just pretty much waste another great villain. I could have seen Dar-Ben being a huge threat ongoing, but in Disney Marvel fashion, they dropped the ball on that again. So, whatever. Another thing that I did not like about the movie was Kamala's family. They were in it too much. They were in it so much that it kind of felt out of place. Almost as if, for whatever reason, they found reasons to force them into the narrative in story. And I felt that they were completely unnecessary. I think they were just there for comedic purposes, which, again, a lot of the jokes throw you off a bit and kind of make the movie inconsistent, basically. If they either limited her family or just cut them out completely, I don't think it changes anything about the movie. They were just filler. I could have done without it. Like, I didn't like it. My biggest pet peeve about the movie, though, is there was way too much exposition, right? So early reviews were saying that you don't need to see the previous movies and shows that came before to understand what's going on in the Marvels, right? And that's true. And the reason for that is because they spend about 20-30% of the movie explaining everything that happened before. And that's excluding the little intro that you get in the beginning of the movie that kind of explains some things, right? So there's this, you get this great action scene in the beginning, and then in the middle of the movie, you just get this pause so we can go ahead and explain who everybody is, how they got their powers, and how their powers work, right? And that went on for a little bit too long. And I got to go back and rewatch the movie, but I'm pretty sure it was a good chunk of the second act that they did that, and that kind of annoyed me. That kind of took me out of the movie. I don't like having my hand held. Like I'm an intelligent human being. Like you can sprinkle some hints here and there and let me figure it out. Y'all don't need you to hold my hand and sit me down and patronize me and explain things like I'm 5 years old, right? But yeah, overall, average movie. I'm not gonna say. I will argue with you if you say it's the worst MCU movie. I will argue with that, and I will argue that it's not. However, if you put this movie into, I'll say, the top 20 of the Marvel movies, then I will argue down. Like this movie does not hit or is nowhere close to top 20 MCU movies. But at the end of the day, like this movie should have been 20 minutes longer, so they didn't have to do too much explaining and they could show a lot more. They should have done more with the villain that they had, Darben. But overall, it's an average movie. If you don't like it, I'm not going to argue because, again, you can go either way with this movie. Either you like it or you don't like it, right? I'm not going to argue either way. But, again, it's not the worst movie. However, it's not one of the best MCU movies. So, but, that's just my opinion. If, you may have a difference of opinion, and that's cool, But if you want to see it, be sure to check it out this weekend. Take the kids. The kids will definitely enjoy this movie, or people who just aren't that interested in the comic books and the comic book backstory. They may enjoy it as well. If you're a diehard comic book fan, you're probably not going to like this movie. But with that being said, that's the end of the review, and I will see you guys at the next review. Peace.